Hello, welcome to Ring Takes here. We are 7 weeks out from WrestleMania. Just wrapped up with the Elimination Chamber this past weekend and Monday Night Raw. We'll be going over those two and talking about all the stuff, all the fallouts, all the surprises. A controversial debut for some. We'll talk about that. But we're going to be getting into the Elimination Chamber, the winners, where we're going for WrestleMania, a hot Monday Night Raw picking up from last week. Stay tuned. And we are here. We are here. Episode 140 of Ring Takes here. Elimination Chamber reaction and get us to Mania because of all the hot stuff happening on Raw. We actually know some matches that are going to be happening at WrestleMania. We are here. We are joined by Brian and Lewis as always, and me, myself, Daniel. But we are also joined by Wrestling Spotlight's own wrestling legend, Sonny the Man Eagle Cain from Wrestling Spotlight. Thank you for joining us, Sonny. We're kicking off here. Our picks for me and Lewis wasn't so great this past weekend at the Elimination Chamber. We only got CM Punk correct. Brian had two people right with the Women's Chamber and CM Punk, and Sonny was the lucky one, correctly picking AJ Lee to win the IC title. We'll be talking about that. Our Men's Chamber picks weren't the best, but we'll be getting into that. But the Elimination Chamber was this Saturday. Very entertaining show. Let's get into it. The Women's Chamber match. Rhea Ripley will be heading to WrestleMania to take on Jade Cargill. She had a very impressive performance in the Chamber. What did you guys think about the Elimination Chamber and Rhea Ripley winning?
I feel like, in my opinion, that the Women's Chamber was actually better than the Men's Chamber this year. I don't know. No, it was. We'll get into the men's chamber, some of the flaws there, but I definitely think this was the best chamber match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was very competitive. It was very hard hitting. Raquel Rodriguez finally stepped into the spotlight. She was the MVP of the match. Mommy, cool. Everything she did in that match is all things that all four of us have stated. I've begged for her to finally show that aggression. I mean, the double elimination in of itself, slamming Kiana James through the pod and then pinning Asuka at the same time. You never would think that Asuka of all women would be a part of that equation, but that was tremendous in of itself. I mean, it almost was for a second that you kind of hoped they were going to go in the direction of Raquel, just so we can get something new and something different. I think Daniel, you alluded to it last week, how compared to Liv Morgan, you would rather have Raquel in this situation now compared to what we've been getting with Liv and Stephanie, and Raquel proved you right in the Elimination Chamber. So this was a great showing from her.
Hey, WWE, if you want to hire me, just let me know. I can book these things. I'm just saying.
The fact going in the direction of Rhea Ripley, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of predicted the things were going to go in this direction after her and Io dropped the women's tag team titles on SmackDown, like kind of like how I had predicted that would happen. But it was great. It was a great match. Great to see Rhea Ripley come out on top. I know there are some complaints about it. Some people feeling that Rhea Ripley is suddenly turned into Hulk Hogan with all of these WrestleMania main events. They're saying that this is now her fifth WrestleMania now, where she's now in a title match. The way I see it, I mean, when you look at everybody that was in that match, I mean, if we're talking star power and we're talking about how WrestleMania is the showcase of the Immortals, where you want to have like your best matches and have the most star power possible, then Rhea Ripley was the best way to go. Are we gonna get into the back and forth with her and Jade, or are we going to save that?
I want to save that to when we get into Raw. We're going to save that.
Okay, we'll save that when we get into Raw.
Yep.
But great. It was a great match. It was the better chamber match in my opinion, and glad to see that Glad to see that Rhea Ripley is now going to be back in the main event. To comment on them dropping the tag team titles, I thought that was the best decision. Like I said last week, having Lash and Nia as your tag team champions, seeing that the majority of the women's tag team roster are baby faces, or if not baby faces, women of a much smaller stature compared to those two. Yeah, that can create a whole bunch of scenarios, and you have those two, like I said, kind of be like the two woman power trip of the women's tag team division, have everybody go after them. And on top of that, we also get Rhea and Io back in singles, your top two women back in singles, which they kind of desperately need right now. So great decision. Happy that Rhea's back in the main event, and we'll get into the whole situation with Jade.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the chamber match was great. I think, like Brian kind of just went over, like Raquel looked great. I'm happy that this was like a time to like highlight these people's strength, or like her, and kind of like who else was it? Why am I spacing? Who was in the who? Even Logan Paul, I guess, in the men's in the men's
Alexa
chamber.
Bliss, Asuka, Raquel, Tiffany, Kiana James. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I was comparing it to the men's chamber, kind of like how, unfortunately Logan Paul got those 3 eliminations, and it's like, but you got like Raquel over here getting, pinning 2 people at once.
Mm-hmm.
Just highlighting how great she is in the ring. There were a lot of great spots. And I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, with Rhea, I don't know. Maybe to me it's a little predictable. Not predictable, but it's like kind of like a rehashing of the same thing. So I don't know. I think I'm just hoping for something new. But I mean, I'm also fine with it. I'm not upset at it. I'm interested to see what's coming after this, especially with all that fallout. But I thought it was still a great match, though.
Yep. Sonny, what did you think about Rhea Ripley winning the chamber matchup?
Absolutely loved it. I thought it was a good change in her attitude, momentum, and drive for her. And I don't know if they still do it this way or not today. I have seen a lot of WWE Unreal, the series on Netflix, and what I learned from that is some things are similar to how it was back in my day. And athletes' attitude is 99% of the game. If they can convey their attitude on camera, and they can talk directly to the promoter, it being Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or whoever the promoter is, or even Michael P.S. Hayes, and they can convince them that they're ready to move up, then oftentimes a day or two before the show, the storyline will flip, and they'll say, okay, I'm moving this person up now because of their interview on the previous show. And it's all about attitude, momentum, and drive. And I think it's Rhea's moment. I think we're going to see a new champion between her and Jade, and I think Rhea's going to come out on top there. And as for her and Io Sky, I saw Io come out of the locker room office backstage, and she wasn't entirely happy when she walked out of the office. So it didn't get into why she was unhappy, but it hinted the fact that maybe they might be breaking them up at this point. So Rhea could go her own way a little bit. And that's how it is at the game, because everyone is fighting for that at the end of the line or at the end of the day paycheck, and not everyone can get there. So it doesn't mean that they can't get back together on the same page and continue on as friends, but people don't want to see friends. People want to see the competition between two people. I mean, even all these months by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, people are kind of wanting to see them wrestle each other now, is my feeling from WWE. And, it's like, leave it on and let it continue to run. But the fans get it at the end. And I said this on X in the X tweet. I said wrestling podcasts were going to change the outcome of matches and major events, because it's a new medium. It's not going nowhere. And the major promotions are going to have to take us into consideration as to how our opinions weigh in at the end of the day going forward. So all this adds up, and kudos to Rhea. She deserves a win. But did y'all notice her attitude change in her interview on Raw? I thought it was great. She went from lovey-dovey to just old Rhea. And that's what everyone's been wanting to see. You know, they don't like to see her watered down so much. And that's when teams have stayed too long together. And in my opinion, that's what's going on with Judgment Day, too. They've had them too long together. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Definitely awesome to see Rhea back in the spotlight. And it was the safe choice for WWE. It was the right choice from a star power perspective. A person that you know can go in there and have a great match, basically with anybody. And especially her going up against Jade is definitely going to be a main attraction match, because those are two powerhouses colliding with each other. We want to see these superstars getting into these type of matches. We want to see Bianca Belair. I've said it before. I want to see Bianca Belair versus Charlotte. I want to see Bianca Belair versus Rhea. I want to see Rhea versus Jade. I don't mind seeing Rhea versus Charlotte again. Throw Tiffany Stratton, whatever way you can do. We want to see great wrestling. Throw EO in there. We want to see great wrestlers have great matches. With that being said, the Women's Elimination Chamber was awesome. I was of course, all the women participated were awesome in the match. Tiffany Stratton was the Iron Woman in the match, started the match, finished the match, got pinned by Rhea Ripley, which I thought was a great way that they ended the match, finished the match with her throwing her into the pod and then hitting the Riptide, getting the 1, 2, 3. Thought that was a good one. Again, Raquel Rodriguez, we've all been talking about her improvement over the past year, last year, and then seeing how she was going to be used up into this WrestleMania point and how she was going to be used into WrestleMania and on beyond in 2026. I think this was a good showing and maybe put a little bit more confidence in her stock, because the way they presented her as a powerhouse in the chamber, you know, pitting Asuka and Kiana James at the same time and really putting a stamp on the match. So very impressed by her. But the person I was impressed by the most was Kiana James. I did not see this. I was so impressed by her. I'm like, okay, she has the purse coming to the ring. I'm like, okay, that's from NXT, whatever. Gimmick really never caught on. When she first got called up, we all thought it was weird how she was the one getting called up from NXT. We were like, why is she getting called up? Then she gets in this pairing with Julia, and they have easily positioned her, in my opinion, ahead of Julia by putting her in the chamber, her showcasing her talent in the chamber. I was like, I didn't see this. Even in all the matches on SmackDown that she's had, I didn't see how impressive she was. So she stole the show for me, because I was just like, she's really good. Is she
wait a minute.
Is she EO or Rhea? No.
Oh, hold
But
up.
she was
Time out.
some stuff. All right, Brian.
I'm only interrupting you just to ask this question, because remember last week you had asked the question of why the hell she was even in this match to begin with. Now from that,
I was wrong.
I answered you. I told you they like her. I don't know why, but they seem to like Kiana James a lot, and the chamber just showed why they like her. So,
yeah, like it was.
She's athletic and she's strong. I mean, she has a good look.
Yep.
And I mean, like, put her next to obviously like Tiffany, Jade, Rhea. Like, she's not a small female.
Yeah.
Not saying anything else, but she has stature, she has strength, she has the look, and I guess this was finally the time that she highlighted it. So
again, in NXT, never saw this. On the SmackDown matches she had, never saw this.
How much NXT were you seeing of her?
At that point in time, I was watching quite a bit. Like, I knew who she was in whatever that group was down there. I forgot the name of the group, but
Fatal Attraction
and stuff like that. I was like, okay, like, I don't understand why she's called up. Figured that she needed a little bit more seasoning in NXT. I didn't see especially on SmackDown, how they made her the qualifier winner. She rolled up the person at the end. She didn't really do much in the match. She was kind of getting her butt kicked in the match, but in the chamber, she was putting belt to ass. She was kicking ass in the chamber for a little bit there going. So I got to give kudos where it's given. Like, she was great. I thought she was great. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her going forward, because it's like, okay, she has something. And especially in that chamber, it was like, okay, we can see something going on here. But the women's chamber was great. Alexa Bliss getting eliminated first, I didn't like that. But I think that's setting up the Kabuki Warriors and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte for a tag team match at some point. and maybe that continues their rivalry in the tag team division. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Raquel Rodriguez. But as for Rhea Ripley winning the Chamber and Tiffany being the Iron Woman, that still shows that they think highly of Tiffany. So we'll see what happens to her in WrestleMania, because she's kind of in limbo. She's not in the tag team. You know what I mean? Nobody really likes her in terms on the roster and stuff like that for her to team up with. So that's going to be interesting to see too, what they do with her going into WrestleMania. But for Rhea Ripley winning, I think it was the safe pick. I think it was the right pick. And something WWE can sink its teeth into, which we'll get into when we talk about Raw. Yeah, go ahead, Lewis.
I'm just really curious, because it's like, again, we're not that far away from Mania, and it's like you've been highlighting all these people in the commercials of, like, you know, people that, you know, I would assume are gonna be on the card, and it's like, you know, what's Io doing? What's Charlotte doing? What's Tiffany doing? And it's like, right now, all we have is, we have Liv, but then, you know, Stephanie's not even in it. We got Liv, Jade, and Rhea. And it's like, so what is everybody else doing?
They can only fit so many women on the poster, Lewis.
I'm just saying, though, but can we at least get some
matches?
Direction. How about direction?
I'm actually very glad that you just brought that up. So you guys remember WrestleMania 2000?
Yes.
That one WrestleMania where every match was a multi-person match?
Yes.
Why do I feel like we're going to be trending towards something similar to that this year? I know they've already announced Roman and Punk. They've already announced pretty much the top matches for the world titles. But I feel like every other match after that is going to be a multi-person match. We're going to get probably a couple of fatal four-ways, probably a triple threat tag. We're probably going to get a ladder match with multiple participants. They're going to have to. This is probably going to be a shit ton of multi-matches. There's too much talent, and WrestleMania is too big. They got to get everybody.
It's 2 nights, and you got to get everybody on the card. Everything can't be a singles match. So I feel like this is, and especially in the tag division and stuff like that, where the tag team titles, I feel like there's a lot of talent in the tag division on both men and women now, and especially heading into WrestleMania, we're getting the clear-cut matches that are going to be single matches. To get everybody on the card, you're going to have to be in multi-man matches. You're going to have to, kind of. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with those matchups in the card heading into WrestleMania. So we do have a couple matches made, but going to be interesting for sure, especially they keep telling, they said it on Raw a lot, we're 7 weeks out. It's like, hey, do you guys know how much time you guys have? That's the main thing. But let's keep moving on here. We have a new women's Intercontinental champion, AJ Lee, her first match in singles match in 11 years, they said?
10, they said.
WrestleMania 31, I believe, was her last match.
Yeah.
Picking up the win over Becky Lynch in a highly contested bout. What did you guys think about AJ Lee's performance in that matchup and getting the win?
Utterly shocked.
Same here. Well, AJ Lee had a great performance though.
Yeah,
This is definitely the best performance that she's had since she's been back. I always look at the tag team match at WrestlePalooza as her kind of like working kinks out, because she definitely seemed a little sluggish there. War Games I don't really factor in, because obviously that's 10 women. Everyone's trying to make each other look good. So the singles match was really going to be the test for her to actually see if she's truly back. And I definitely think that she passed that test. That was a remarkable performance on her end. Becky as a heel really is a tremendous character. From the social media posts to her interactions with Jessica Carr, the referee in the ring. I mean, they could literally do a feud right now between Becky and Jessica, and everybody would get it, because she's literally been going at her for a number of weeks, blaming her for the title loss.
She lost the title the last time.
But it was a great back and forth match. You saw on Raw, I think AJ Lee came out, cut that promo about being a fighting champion. They're going to have a number 1 contenders match next week. I can only assume that obviously Becky and AJ aren't done. There has to be one more, probably a stipulation match that probably will be held off for WrestleMania. But it was a great match. Glad to see AJ back winning the women's IC title. It's very interesting that they decided to go in that direction. I guess they decided that they wanted her and Punk to kind of have the that hometown moment of both of them being champion in Chicago. don't know if it was the best direction to go in, but it was great to see AJ Lee have the best performance that she's had since she's been back.
Yeah, I mean, I was very shocked. I didn't think they would give her the home field advantage, but still, she showed out. I think the only, I'm not gripe, but the only maybe slow down thing that I saw was probably her finisher. It kind of felt like she didn't really catch the whole like the armbar, the what is it called, the Black Widow, I believe.
Octopus.
But I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
Octopus stretch.
Yeah.
That's the technical term.
But other than that, I mean, she had a great showing. Again, still really surprised that they gave her the win, but I felt like they could have milked more out of that feud. I hope it's not the end, but hopefully this leads either to like a fatal four-way or a triple threat at Mania.
What did you think, as the only person to pick AJ Lee to win the IC title, what do you think about her win and AJ Lee picking up her first title in 11 years? Sonny?
I think it was really great for her. She has at least been at the Performance Center most of that time, training the wrestlers, so it's not like she had been totally off the grid during all that time. She is the stepping stone for the wrestlers to prove themselves to her before they go on to NXT or wherever they choose to go after that. And I think it was a good choice. I think it's a unique thing that a husband-wife team are champs at the same time. I think it's also a notable choice that the Intercontinental title can change hands at any time on any show.
Yeah.
And that's what made me think it could happen in Chicago for them was the odds of the belt changing. But hats off to Becky Lee. Kudos to her for taking on anybody and everybody. I mean, she's not backed away from anybody. It doesn't matter if she goes out and gets her fanny beaten in the ring. She still goes after that person in the head-on match. And that's a rare thing in today's style of wrestling. Becky Lynch is more old school than people realize, and those are old school moves to go after the people badmouthing you week in and week out. She's done that now since she's been in it, so you can't take anything away from her. And she's probably the greatest female heel going today. So I don't think it'll be the end. I think this will be a back and forth rival for a little bit. And maybe at the end of the day, Becky will get it back. But for now, seeing it on AJ Lee's school.
I was surprised by this match. The whole interactions with Jessica Carr. Here we go. So Becky has another excuse in the book as a heel for her losing the title and stuff like that. So she's definitely going to be demanding a rematch soon. I'm surprised she hasn't posted anything on X or anything. I haven't seen anything that of her complaining or anything like that. So maybe we'll get something soon about that. But I was very impressed. Glad to see AJ Lee back in the ring again. I agree with Lewis. The finisher didn't look as clean as back in the day, but it has been 11 years and a different opponent, and that's kind of difficult. So for AJ Lee just to go in there and give it her all, and the fans were behind her and good support behind her, I'm with it. I'm not against her winning the title. I think it would have been a better story if she chased it into WrestleMania, but of course plans change. We've heard about her, again, Brian mentioned it, that she wants to be a fighting champion and challenge other people, kind of go the CM Punk route as well. So we're going to see probably week to week her taking on some new challengers and stuff like that, and seeing where this story goes with this, because I don't think Becky's out of it. The only thing now is, like, is Becky going to be a 3-time IC champion if she goes after it again? You know what I mean? Just that I would have rather had the win at WrestleMania for AJ Lee. Yeah. But if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I wasn't mad at the match. I thought the match was solid. I like Becky's work in the match as a heel. I thought that was impressive. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of her ring work, her character is her strong point. Like, her being a prima donna and bitching and moaning and complaining and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jessica Carr. Becky Trump. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jessica Carr and all this, because it's like this is going to be an angle or something. Something's going to happen between these two women. Either I know she's wrestles in Evolve as a wrestler as well there, so I know she has some wrestling ability. So I don't know if this is going to lead to a match between the two at some point, but it's definitely going to get interesting between these two. And I don't know if that's going to be a side feud while AJ Lee figures this out with these other women that are coming after her, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go going forward with this. But AJ Lee winning the IC title for the first time in her career, so congratulations to her. Let's keep moving on. We have another title match on the Elimination Chamber. We had CM Punk defeating Finn Balor. Highly contested bout. Of course, I think Finn Balor was showing that he's still in that main event ilk and on that cloth and can hang. So we'll see what happens with him going forward. But CM Punk winning in his hometown of Chicago. What did you guys think about that matchup there?
Daniel, as
Why?
basketball guys, CM Punk's entrance was probably one of the best entrances that I've seen in a long time.
Yep.
Just as a basketball guy, if you were a fan of Jordan and the Bulls, as soon as you heard that music, that was like nostalgia. Or if you watched the Last Dance documentary, that was all nostalgia. That was like the perfect entrance, hometown entrance for CM Punk. He was wearing the Chicago Bulls gear as well. Chicago Bulls colors on his gear. That was a great look. But obviously, this was the match of the night. You saw like in the last time that they faced each other. Obviously, these two men have tremendous chemistry, and you saw that in the match. There's really not much. There's really not much to nitpick about this at all. It really was just Finn Balor's back in the main event. You definitely saw at the very end that they're alluding to a Finn Balor face turn, and then we'll get into what happened on Monday Night Raw
for sure.
So they're definitely leaning towards that with Finn's old entrance and everything. But I love this match. It was a great back and forth. Like I said, these guys have tremendous chemistry. We kind of knew it was one of those matches where you kind of knew what direction they were going because of what's to come. But you love seeing the action between both guys because of the chemistry and how tight they are. Love this match. Love to see Punk coming out on top. This actually was one of Punk's better performances. I know I've been critical, with John and others about how sloppy and sluggish Punk had looked in other matches. But this was a lot better than the previous months.
Mm-hmm.
If we get this CM Punk at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, then we're gonna get something special. So this is great
for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. There was a lot of great back and forth. There was a sliver of hope, again, like I have with every match of Finn actually pulling off the win. But I don't know. It's like they had the first round, and he did this whole heel thing, and then it's kind of like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
You came after him with the Judgment Day, but now he's turning face. So it just like, I don't know.
I think a lot of people forgot about that. I think a lot of people forgot about that.
Like he literally had the first match and then shook his hand and then attacked him. And then came after him the following Monday. But then now you're questioning again, and now you're a face. No, we do this the right way, and it's like
CM Punk beat the respect into him. That's what happened.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think there's I don't know. Maybe it would have made more sense if he would have done, I don't know, more heel tactics and then been like, all right, maybe I'll try this the right way and see if that works. I don't know. It's just kind of confusing, and it just doesn't add up. And I don't know. This just doesn't do any favors to Finn. It's like, I don't know. I feel like we heard in the past that they were going to give him a push, and yes, he's getting these main event spots, obviously right before Mania. But we already know how these go, where it's like you're not going to have a major title change right before Mania. Yeah. But it's like, where do we go from here? Is he just going to drop back down to the mid-card, do more Judgment Day stuff, and that's it? Or are we actually going to get a great story or some type of payoff that actually will keep him in the main event. I don't know, but that's my only gripe. But match wise, yeah, like Brian said, CM Punk looked great. I thought his cardio was like on point. You know, as far as like not looking exhausted and huffing and puffing, and actually like smoothly transitioning in certain spots with Finn. I thought they looked great. I'm glad he's not doing the same old GTS, bounce it to the ropes, fall on my shoulder, give you another GTS. And I'm like, all right, we've seen that enough. But all in all, great match. Great match. And yeah, the entrance was fire, though.
What did you think about CM Punk retaining Sonny? Obviously not.
Like I said in the predictions, I thought it was going to be tailor made that way, but I think it's wrong of CM Punk to brush off Finn Balor so lightly at this point in time. I think the rival will go for a little while longer, and on any given night, it could be Finn's night. We could see Finn defeating Punk, maybe not for the world title, but surely in a matchup against Punk. And I think Finn could be the world champion on any given day because of his background. He's been everywhere and was trained by everybody in the business. I did a commentary on him on Wrestling Spotlight and was really impressed with how far his Wikipedia page goes. I mean, it just goes for a mile long. He's not someone who's just part-time to business. He's lived it, breathed it, and done it. And again, what holds him back is his continued association with the Judgment Day. And I think the Judgment Day has simply outgrown each other. I think they've all become stars at this point in time. And I think the fanfare is tired of seeing the group being together as they have been. And it's time to see what they can do on their own separately away from each other. Am I right in thinking that? Is that where everybody's at on that?
I think literally everyone in the Judgment Day can go on their own. I think Finn might suffer. I mean, JD might suffer a little bit.
Not JD.
JD might suffer a little bit because
JD needs Finn.
But,
JD owes Finn his entire fucking career. Let's be honest.
But
I say make them all champions one more time, but then it's kind of begin to separate them.
JD needs Finn
by themselves.
I think
JD needs to. If JD wants to stay relevant, he needs a feud with Finn, like a full out, back to back. Like it doesn't need.
And there's so much history that they can tap into between them. Like they can make that something special.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to it's a lot of story to tell.
Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was a little slow at start, but this type of match, you change the pace of things and stuff like that. So I thought that's the only part I had a problem with. I love the reversals between the two. The coup de grace reversed into the sharpshooter. I thought that was awesome and a different thing that I've never seen before. Like somebody actually do. I don't think Finn kicked out enough in this, in my opinion. Show a little bit more fight, but he threw everything at CM Punk, and Punk was great. I thought the whole match was good. I thought the crowd finally got into the whole. I think they got picked back up by this match, especially cheering for Punk and especially the entrance by Allison, the Alan Parsons Project Cyrus from the Chicago Bulls. Like that type of touch adds
mystique
to it, prestige to it, its own touch, it felt different, right? We haven't really seen that in WWE, especially with WWE. We've seen special interests and stuff like that, but to put that on top of it, that was a nice touch from WWE and being aware of where they were and actually doing that. So that's a legendary entrance for Punk. Of course, the Chicago Bulls, Chicago Blackhawks colors on representing in Chicago. I thought it was a pretty good match. Finn looking awesome in the match. Punk, I think that he's been doing this. I don't want to say old, but this champion hanging on. And really putting on a quiet performance into old age, right? In terms of where wrestling is, right? And really putting on a performance that was better than he's gotten better over the past couple months, I think. And especially this was a great showcase with him and Finn, and they have the chemistry from their performance in London. So to get that type of match at a pay-per-view right before WrestleMania, I thought was awesome. So kudos to both those guys involved. For Finn, it showcased that he can be in that spotlight. So I hope they're not really positioning as a person that's just a good hand in the ring, right? For these title matches, right? Hey, if we need something, we know we can put Finn in that. Of course, you want to be in that position, but I hope that they actually put him in a marquee setup sometime in 2026. I think they're going to Italy in
Backlash, May, I believe.
I think it's Clash in Italy. I think it's Clash.
Yeah, Clash in Italy. It's not Backlash.
Backlash separate things. So when they have those overseas things, use Finn Balor. The crowd is behind him. The crowd will get behind him. Definitely could do some things with him heading towards that. But so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought it was a great match between those two. CM Punk picking up the win. Those guys shaking their hands. With Lewis on this, from the standpoint of that you attacked him and did all these things to him before to get this matchup. And then you just shook his hand. It's kind of like, as I said, CM Punk beat the respect into him. But obviously something's happening with Finn, obviously, with the Judgment Day, especially when we get into Raw and talk about that. Something's happening with him. So we'll see what happens with those guys going forward when we get into Raw. Let's keep moving on to the last match of the night, the Elimination Chamber, the Men's Elimination Chamber. Randy Orton picking up the win. And as of right now, heading to WrestleMania. Going after big title number 15 in his repertoire. What did you guys think about the matchup there and Randy Orton coming out on top?
Daniel, did we skip something or are we coming back to it?
I didn't want to talk about that, but I guess we can.
You didn't want to talk about that?
I guess we can. I kind of skipped over it, but yeah, I try to.
We kind of have to talk about it because it kind of dominated. Social media.
Since Dan skipped it, he is cursed.
Whoa. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
No.
I mean, you saw what happened to Dom. Just saying.
Hey. I don't need any curse or bad luck. No. Time.
They give him lots of monies.
I guess we have to talk about it. Danhausen was the man in the box. Made his debut. I'll let you guys go. What did you guys think about this? Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm actually glad that a couple of days have passed since this happened.
Yeah,
we have recorded this on Sunday night. There would have been a whole bunch of F-bombs and negative energy, a whole bunch of stuff. Because Daniel, I felt the same way that you did when he debuted. It's the same way that a lot of people felt. That I felt that like it fell flat. I felt that like it was a waste. That they built it up for a number of weeks just to reveal it right on the road to WrestleMania. But then, like I said, a couple of days went by, and I thought about it, and I was like, Why are we as the fans so riled up about this? And then I thought, since the Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo that we got a couple of weeks ago, nothing on Raw or SmackDown has felt like WrestleMania. Like we haven't felt like the hype for WrestleMania just hasn't been there. It's kind of similar to how it was last year with John Cena's heel turn. Like the hype going into the event just wasn't there. And when you saw this crate appear, a lot of people looked at this crate and thought, okay, whoever is going to be revealed, this is probably going to be the game changer that we need to kind of hype things up for WrestleMania again, to make us feel like WrestleMania is finally here. I think a lot of people had their expectations up of who was going to be in that crate. Now, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm glad a couple of days have passed now, because now I think about it, it's like, okay, based upon the way the Danhausen character is, who else would have had to been in that crate for people to be satisfied? And I started thinking of names of Chris Jericho, Rock, Vince McMahon. Like who? Like there's nobody I can think of that would have fit that scenario of coming out in the crate. Based upon the way the Danhausen character is he fit that. But again, it was more so because of the hype for WrestleMania hasn't been there. And again, you don't debut a comedy character in that manner. A comedy character like Danhausen, there's weeks and weeks of stuff that they could have done instead of just doing this big crate reveal. Because I remember Jim Cornette used to say it best. If somebody debuts in the box, they're over. Like that was a catchphrase for him. But that's the reason. But I think that's the reason why a lot of people were just like, what the fuck is this? Like, we wanted a game changer to kind of hype things up for WrestleMania, and we got this guy. Now, when I saw how he was used on Monday Night Raw, I was kind of like, okay, this is going to be his role: backstage segments and moving merch. That's why they signed him. Granted, everybody has a role. You know, not every wrestler that they sign is going to main event WrestleMania. Some guys are utility guys. Some guys are to stay in the mid card. Some guys are going to stay in the lower mid card. The only problem is, this is the road to WrestleMania that we're talking about, and people wanted a game changer, and they got this guy, Danhausen, who only appeals to fans like us, not to the casual audience or to little kids.
Speak for yourself, Brian. Speak for yourself, Brian. He does not appeal to me. I'm totally against.
For our type of for the IWC crowd. Okay, I'll say that the IWC crowd likes Danhausen. I'll say that.
So just to touch up on what Brian said, and the only reason I disagree that people really expected this box to be a game changer or be some giant surprise for Mania. Think of anybody coming into the company. It's either an attack or a mystery opponent. You don't ever see, open this at the chamber. Like, come on. To me, okay, and I mean, I might be a little jumping. Not, how do I say this? I guess I kind of already knew, and once I saw it, once I saw the coffin, I 100% knew. But I had already seen people commenting like, "Oh, this is Danhausen."
Yeah.
This is who it's gonna be, and I was like, "Okay, we'll see." But it's like, I didn't expect this to be some giant thing. I don't mind Danhausen because honestly, I do feel like in this day and age, if you just looking at the roster and what's on WWE, that comedy aspect is really lacking a lot. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, nobody wants to see the comedy stuff," but it's also it's part of the entertainment factor. And I don't know if maybe, I don't think WWE's been getting away from it, but think of who's actually a comedy act. You just got Truth. Our Truth, and even he's not shown as much anymore. I mean, you gotta, I guess, maybe an entertainment factor in like what's his name, NXT, Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
You know, but he's still a legitimate, he's NXT champion. But it's like, I feel like that comedy aspect is lacking and is needed. Now, the only issue is, with this whole thing, I don't think he was presented in the right way. The fact that he came out with these dancers, did this in the ring, and then was left, I'm like, that you killed him immediately. You killed him immediately, because it should have been either something like The Miz being out there just yapping his ass off, and then you have this guy and be like, "Who the hell are you? No one knows who you are." And that probably would have done way more for him. He's like, "I curse you," and then you could have done something and probably actually would have got a better response than just like this guy he didn't even dance. He had dancers, and then you got a lot of people like, "Okay, I might know who this is. I don't know who this is," and then he just disappears. You're not gonna what does that do? That does nothing for him as well. I'm glad that they recovered on Raw with it, and what his whole shtick is actually kind of, I guess, helped push a certain scenario. But yeah, Elimination Chamber with that whole stint did not do him any favors. Yes, it might have been corny, but they could have done it in a much better fashion and probably could have worked out way better. Whoever thought that just doing that and then being like, "Ha, okay, bye." No. So that's my only gripe. I'm curious. I'm excited to see what he's actually gonna do, and I thought with what little he did on Raw, it shows potential, because I've seen his stuff on AEW, and I thought it's funny, like it's kooky, it's
yeah.
It can work if you do it right, but if you're just, all right, here it is, whatever, people aren't gonna care about it, and they're gonna just shit all over it, and I feel like that's what happened.
Man. Any thoughts on Danhausen, Sonny? Do you know about Danhausen at all?
I know a little bit about it, and from listening to you guys, that to me is where wrestling throws a curve in its own ball game, because
sure.
they don't portray every angle as being real to the point that it can be appreciated by wrestling fans of like my dad's statue. My dad believed in wrestling until he talked to somebody in the business. He won't tell me who it was. And they told him how things really were in the business. Once Dad heard how things were, he lost interest in how the wrestlers get there in the business. And they're two different things. There's knowing the ending and there's getting to the ending. And that's why my book, Professional Wrestling is Real, is going to be discussing on and elaborating on a great deal. And to throw a curveball in a pay-per-view like this, I just think it's distasteful. And they could have bought him out on Raw or on SmackDown and told more of a story with him rather than put him in a main event scenario. He's not an Ivan Koloff. He's not a Dusty Rhodes. And we just need to know who a couple of these guys are. AEW did the same thing when they bought an older guy out that nobody had heard of in a long time a couple months ago, and we were sitting there scratching our heads. At least I was, Brian, going, "Who's this guy?" And they were giving him all the heat, and he won the title that night. And I was like, "Man, he's apparently somebody to somebody." But you don't make the main roster usually unless you've proven your way elsewhere. So maybe he's proven his way elsewhere, and we just hadn't seen it.
Man, it's on me.
In AEW, who did
that?
Who's the guy that this what happened with?
I have a hard time pronouncing his name. Louis starts with a C. Ciampa something or another. He beat
Tommaso
Ciampa.
Yeah, he beat my man Mark Briscoe, I think, for the title. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just came out of nowhere and got all kinds of heat. And for a minute, I had to think back to who he was because no story had been told to him.
Yeah,
and then to add to your point, Sonny, he lost the title the very next week to Kyle Fletcher.
He did.
Great match, though.
Because nobody had ever heard of
This match, but still.
Is this on me?
Yeah.
Do I have to talk about Danhausen? Do I have to do this?
See, I think we need to make a compilation of all things that Dan hates on first looks. Whether it's the Wyatt Six,
I mean that's pretty much every.
Whether it's the
every
Fiend,
supernatural character.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Any character has supernatural he hates.
It's late. It's late, so I'm not trying to be loud in my crib. But I'm going to go on a tangent here. Because you guys have to do this. I didn't want to do this. I was going to leave it alone. I was going to skip over this. I was going to ignore this. But Danhausen.
I mean, he has your name, Dan.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. With Danhausen, he debuted, and he came out with the dancers, and he came into the ring, and when the arena went dark. And you want to know what Chicago did? They booed him. You want to know why they booed him? Because it was stupid.
They didn't do it right. Because they didn't do it
stupid.
right.
No, it was stupid. Let me tell you this. If Chris Jericho would have came out with the Festival of Friendship and with dancers around him and dancing around and said, "I'm the host of WrestleMania," would that not have been a better presentation for that?
Are you comparing the two? It's Chris Jericho.
No. I'm just asking the question. If Chris Jericho came out with fireworks and people partying and stuff like that, and saying we're going to Vegas, and him spilling the Ocho drink or whatever that on the mimosas and shit on the floor and stuff like that, would that not have been? Would that not have been a better place for that?
In that moment, yes.
And I just came up with that on the fly. That's different from me just saying Chris Jericho come out the box.
You realize he's still on AEW's roster, right?
Yes, I'm just saying. I understand that in hindsight. Yes, I understand that he's still underneath the AEW umbrella, whatever the case may be. But this was not it, and the reason why it's not it is because we just had an Elimination Chamber match. We just had an IC Women's Champion match. We had a world title match that just happened. This is before the men's Elimination Chamber, before we see somebody going off to WrestleMania to try to capture their championship dreams. And this is what you show. This is what's gonna get people hype.
But you know what's even crazier? This probably, again, if they wanted to just do this and crack it open and reveal him, it should have just been a backstage segment. Because then you're just using the noise of people either recognizing him or them being like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yes.
And then you could get kind of close up interaction from backstage and be like, "All right, maybe we can try and figure who the hell this is."
Yeah.
To do this whole prop and dance and then just poof. Instantly killed it.
I'm just going to say this. Danhausen does have a place. So let me say this. Danhausen does have a place. He's a comedy wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's a comedy wrestler. He does these type of gimmicks and gigs and stuff like that. The only thing I'm going to say, and this is with WWE, when they have these type of characters, what do they usually do with these guys? They mess them up. They mess them up. The Fiend, I don't care what anybody says. People can be captivated by the Fiend. They crapped
was
it.
Amazing.
They crapped
Fiend was
it.
amazing.
Danhausen is a very special type of character, and to debut him like that is a disservice. It's a disservice to him.
It is.
It's a disservice to everyone involved. Okay, of course, let me say this. Danhausen's going to have his moment in he was signed and stuff like that. Of course, you take that opportunity. But the fact that they debuted him like this in a wrestling town like Chicago that is hardcore, like to do that to him and put him out there, there were boos. I don't know if they were boos because they saw him or boos that it was cut short. Whatever the case may be, it was a negative.
It honestly is because it was cut short.
It was a negative reaction.
So that actually was a discussion on social media in regards to the crowd. Some people were literally asking if that was a traditional Chicago crowd there, because even with the only time where they reacted to something really was Punk's entrance and I think AJ Lee's entrance. Other than that, the crowd really didn't react too much on the show. So people were asking the question like, is this a traditional Chicago audience? Are these people who live in the suburbs of Illinois that can afford these high ass ticket prices that decided to come down? Like that actually was a discussion. So
this is my biggest issue with the whole thing. The box was debuted at the start of February, so there's been weeks and weeks of them committing time, segments to this,
exactly that too.
Taking time away from other people that could have been talked about. I talked about this, the Maxine and Natty program. They cut and dry that real fast. I'm wondering if this took time away from them to talk about the box and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it is, but in case of stuff happening around wrestling and stuff like that, storylines, other people need development, other stories need to get over, more different backstage segments. It seemed like this was just put there to eat time. So if you don't care about it, why should I care about it as the viewer person who's watching and trying to invest in your product? Like, this is this is my problem. We're getting so close to WrestleMania, and of course you're gonna have your showcase and stuff like that, and people who do entertainment stuff. You're gonna have your celebrities there. You're gonna have your parties and stuff like that. But it's like, if this is not doing that, why do I care about this when we're 7 weeks out to WrestleMania? Like, what is your creative with this? And my whole thought first went, all right, this guy does magic and stuff like that. He's going to do something with David Blaine at WrestleMania or something like that. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, something's going to happen with a celebrity at WrestleMania and they're going to do something. But it's like, we didn't need that to... I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel like it was a waste of time. I'm not trying to
agree with Brian when Brian said it's not feeling like WrestleMania just yet. Last week on Raw, to me, was the first night that it felt just a little bit like WrestleMania.
Yep.
With the CM Punk and Roman Reigns interviews. But they got to really start putting it out there if they want us to feel like it's going to be the road to WrestleMania, in my opinion.
I don't want to condemn Danhausen. They picked it up on Raw with him, so I thought that was okay and what he was doing there. And I'm like, why didn't they just save him for Raw? Why didn't they just save him for
Raw
that
would have been a
moment?
better place.
And it would have made more sense. But
this interaction with the Judgment Day was 10 times better than what they presented.
I didn't want to talk about this, but you guys made me. So let's officially move on.
But luckily, the thing about Danhausen is compared to obviously the Wide Six, like we're supposed to take the Wide Six seriously. Danhausen, luckily, we don't have to take him seriously. Yeah. When the supernatural character that you have to take seriously, they suck at booking those.
Yes,
but if it's somebody, it's the ones that are taken seriously that you gotta be worried about. But if it's someone like Danhausen, he'll be fine.
I didn't want to talk about that, but you guys made me. Let's officially move on to the last match of the night with the Elimination Chamber. Randy Orton picking up the win, heading towards WrestleMania for number 15. He's going to be facing Drew McIntyre as this moment. What did you guys think about the men's Elimination Chamber and Randy picking up the win?
Oh man, I was so. Oh, Louis, did you want to go first?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I saw you were about to say something.
No, literally, I was thinking like in my head, but like my mouth was moving, so I was just like, I was about to start singing, like I hear voices in my head. I thought the chamber match as a whole was great. There's a lot of parts in this match. I thought Javon had some great spots. As much as I don't like Logan Paul, he had a great showing out, obviously being the cowardly heel and getting, the not the quick, but like, just sneaking in and eliminating whoever the hell he could. Again, it sucks for LA Knight that, his botch is the thing that's getting replayed over and over. And then, of course, you got the giant, shocking reveal that is Seth Rollins. Like, we didn't know that was coming. But I was pleasantly surprised with the end, with Drew coming to screw Cody. I didn't see it go out that way with, them taking him out and then Randy just, doing what Randy has to do and, punching his ticket to Mania, which I thought was done and written perfectly, because I was super ecstatic to see Randy win. I've been somebody that has been saying that Randy looks amazing. Randy deserves another shot at the title. Even deserves one more title run, just because I think we talked about it last week. Like, these guys from this generation, they're getting older and, they're not going to be here forever. And if we have them here healthy and they look good, why not keep them going and trying to chase that gold? Because that should be the goal. I thought it was also a great showing for Trick Williams. Obviously the crowd fucking loves his entrance and everything. Javon, this match I felt like was like great for him just bouncing around, doing whatever he could. Great match overall. Again, the Seth Rollins thing was not surprising at all. I did like how they did it with the multiple masked men, but I think they need to dead this whole masked men thing at this point. But other than that, I'm ecstatic that Randy's gonna get a shot. And who knows if he's actually going to face Drew or not at Mania. We'll see, obviously, after Friday.
Yep.
I thought the chamber match was good, but could be me because I had my expectations up very high. I just expected a lot more from it. I don't know if it was because of all the botches or just because of the caliber of talent in there that I felt that things should have been a lot better. But I just felt that as a whole that that the match could have been a lot better. We talk about LA Knight, his botch. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, I just thought about WWE Unreal in the ladder match, and I was just like, okay, see guys, this is the reason why they haven't pulled the trigger with him. And it was funny because Logan Paul was on this podcast this week.
Yeah.
Actually talked about the spot. He had said that like, that's not on LA Knight. It's actually because the ropes were so damn slippery. He says that every single time he's about to do a springboard, like he actually touches wipes off the ropes to be sure he doesn't slip because the ropes are slippery as hell. And he also talked about, which is a big thing, about how that damn lettering on the mat sometimes makes the mat twice as slippery, so guys can't run as fast. Which is, if that is the case, now I can understand why some of these PLEs have come off the way that they've come off since they moved to ESPN or since they started putting lettering on the mat. I'm wondering, because now these dudes are compromised now because they can't move as fast and do what they normally do because the mat is compromising.
I remember when Damian Priest fell. Oh my God! Oh man. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm not a wrestler, so Sonny. I guess you can. Is it the job of the ref to make sure that's dry? I don't know. Like, does the ref take care of that?
The rope.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the job of the official?
Or the stage crew, I guess.
Yeah. Sonny, is that does the referee do that to make sure things are like dry before a spot comes up or anything like that?
I don't know about being dried. Back in my day, we had rubber hoses and steel cables in the center of our ropes, so we had real ropes compared to what they use today. My right leg has an issue currently to this day from where I ran the ropes and hit the ropes. And I quit doing that one night at a match because my friend Ricky Steamboat told me to. He said, just start circling your opponent in the center of the ring and throwing your moves from that angle. And I began doing that, and I got noticed a little bit better. Promoter yelled at me actually one night for not hitting the ropes. I said, "Are you paying me?" He said, "No." I said, "Then I'm not going to hit the ropes." And you do what you got to do, but Brian, that's where the realness comes in. And I was wondering for months now, since the endorsements had been put on the mats, if that was affected the guys in their performances. What I thought of the match was when Logan Paul entered, I really thought Logan had a shot because he was a fresh face in it. But if he can't get his game up because of the slipperiness of the ropes and the mat coordination, then what WWE needs to do, in my eyesight, is go back to the old mat where we just had WWE on the mat and the promotion and let the guys do what they're trained to do. That's where the realness comes in. I was going for LA Knight, and but I'm real happy with Randy Orton because if Orton wants the 15th title shot, he needs to keep going for it. And I've said on the program for show after show here lately, I don't understand why they are promoting Randy the way they are and giving him a full head of steam in the beginning and then weathering out to very little at the end. So Randy even said on social media that he plans on changing his theme song possibly before WrestleMania, and I think he should because it waters him down. And if you're building somebody up, you don't Ric Flair them necessarily, but you give them a night that they can look better in. And that's what WWE needs to do for him to be taken seriously on this 15 title run. I'm going for Randy in the main event. I think Randy's got the eye for it now, and he's hungry for it. And I think it's going to be his night.
Yep.
If they change Randy's music, they just need to change it back and just, hey, nothing.
That's the song he hated. That's the song he hated.
Love that song.
I love that. Legend Killer Orton. Yeah.
That's the song he hated.
That too. Yeah,
it would be a nice touch at WrestleMania for him to play that. It would be nice for him to play that. But I thought the match was okay. I did not like Logan Paul eliminating everybody early. I did not like that. I'm like, what the hell? But it did add to Seth Rollins coming out and kind of saving the day. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either. But I'm assuming that was supposed to be Bronson Reed's spot, probably.
Yep.
And that's the only reason why I was just like, okay, Bronson Reed was supposed to do this. Okay, no big deal.
So that's what.
The last minute.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he got hurt. But I thought the match was okay. Yeah, as Brian said earlier, I thought the women's one was better. The women's elimination chamber was better because I don't know. I don't feel like they showcased Javon enough in the match. I know he had the
I
splash off
was,
the top.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
what
he.
I'm
yeah,
saying. Like, yeah.
I
I
know
was
he had the.
surprised he didn't go for any other cutter. Like
Yeah, yeah. I was
in some
expecting the
type of
OG.
way.
I was expecting the
Yeah,
OG cutter off the pod or something like something crazy.
yeah.
Nothing. Trick Williams, his entrance was awesome. The ode to Bobby Roode. I thought that was awesome with the platform there with him spinning. They can definitely do a little bit more with that. I want them to do because I feel like that could be something epic. I don't know if you add fireworks or smoke or something, but they need to do something with it. But
Make it glorious.
yeah, I wish those guys got a little bit more shine in the match. Yeah, I just don't. LA Knight slip was messed up. I didn't like that. That was just like, damn. I I didn't want that to happen to him, with all the stuff with WWE and Real and stuff like that. But the ending with let me say this: Drew McIntyre saved that match for me
Yeah,
because him coming out and costing Cody the title, the opportunity to go to WrestleMania. I was just like, this guy is one of the best heels in wrestling. I don't care what nobody. I'm loving the work from Drew McIntyre. Him just being like, Cody, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Anybody who comes in my way, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And for him to do that at that stage was so awesome. I was just like, okay, I love this. Randy Orton taking the opportunity, no hesitation, kind of similar to Cena last year when Seth took out CM Punk. Very opportunistic, right? Took that opportunity to punch his ticket to WrestleMania, and I think that threw everybody off because it was just like, yo, like him and Cody are supposed to have this special bond X Y Z, but for him to take that opportunity to get that, it's like I love it for Randy because it's like, yeah, I'm doing anything to get to number 15, and that should be Randy's motivation heading into that. I'm doing anything I can. I'm scrapping, I'm clawing to get to number 15. So for that to happen, it's going to be interesting. Of course, we got the matchup with Cody and Drew for the WWE title. Nick Aldis was pissed at Drew McIntyre being involved, which is random to me because it's like it's the Elimination Chamber. There's no disqualification. Anything goes. I don't understand why he's so upset about that. Like, I don't get that. But Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the championship on SmackDown. So that's going to have a bunch of implications heading into WrestleMania.
So I'm glad we got to that. I just want to ask one question. Would we prefer Cody and Randy one-on-one at Mania or a fatal four-way with Jacob Fatu and Cody added into the equation?
I'd rather a one-on-one.
See, this is the problem when they didn't let Drew win at WrestlePalooza. Because if Drew would have won the title and carried it through the fall and the winter time, it would have meant more for Cody to win the title back. If Randy Orton winning the Elimination Chamber or the Rumble heading into WrestleMania and then picking Cody, that would have been more of a mega match.
Exactly.
And they took it away. And
he should have won the title at WrestlePalooza, and the 3 Stages of Hell match should have been when he gave it up to Cody going into the Rumble. And that way Randy wins the Rumble, and then you got Cody and Randy straight up. You got the story right there. Now it seems like if they do go in the direction of Cody winning, like, yeah, you got 7 weeks, but you could have solved all this shit months ago. Because now what's gonna happen is if Cody wins, Drew will have only been champion for 60 days and have 1 title defense. Like, what is that gonna do for anybody? Again, are we still gonna be calling him? Are we gonna start calling him a loser again now as a result? 60 days, 1 title defense. Like,
man, I don't like this. I hope it goes to a fatal 4-way.
Yeah,
and maybe we get
30 days.
But I hope so, but it's not looking that way.
And maybe we can get.
Now they've changed it.
and maybe we can get Cody versus Randy down the line, maybe at SummerSlam or Clash in Italy or whatever the case may be. But it's like I don't know.
Cool
I want Drew to carry the title because I feel like he's putting a lot of work to earn it. Yep. And it's just like I want Drew to carry the title in there, man. I think Drew McIntyre should win, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I'm just like the booking's off.
I think it should just be a triple threat. I think it should just be Cody, Drew, and Randy. You can still have Drew win. Randy won't take the. I don't think Randy should take the pin. I think Cody should take the pin, and then I don't know. You can just build off of that, but that's just me.
We got 7 weeks out, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with them, man. I don't know.
I've had a year.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed a little bit. I think Wade Barrett said at the end of the match, "What a mess of the." What did he say? What a mess to the ending of this Elimination Chamber match, and that's that's pretty much what it was. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I don't know what direction they're gonna go. I don't know, but. Right now, as of right now, we got our challenges for SmackDown. We got Rhea Ripley taking on Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship, and we have Randy Orton taking on Drew McIntyre for the Men's WWE Championship. Let's keep moving on here. Let's get into Raw. I'm gonna start with the last segment here. They saved Roman Reigns for Indiana and the not being in the chamber, not being at Elimination Chamber as I have hoped. But they saved him, and man, was it worth it, because we got more to this blood feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Let's start with Sonny. Sonny, what did you think about the promo back and forth, the fiery promo between CM Punk and Roman Reigns?
I liked it. I'll say this. I think if Roman wants the characters to change at this point in time, I think he had... And I said this on X, and this is the most I've ever said about any of the wrestlers who work in the industry. I think it would behoove Roman at this point in time to go on a little bit of an apologetic tour and tell some people he didn't mean to act the way he did when he was champion the first time, and get his group back together. I think that would throw off CM Punk, including the wise man in his arsenal, and come out as the Shield on the night he goes for the world title. I think he's got to really throw CM Punk off his game here, and even though that would be a stretch for Roman's character at this point in time, I think it would be an incentive for him to really do better, because Roman's acted like he's not believing Punk at all, and Punk's comebacks to him on there, and it's showing. So we got to get out of that mode and get into the I'm Roman Reigns, no one can beat me mode if we're going to win this thing. And I'm going for Roman. I'm hoping he wins it and does well with it again. But Roman's been out for a little while, and there's been a lot of damage done to his character. So I think Roman had ought to go into rebuilding mode at this point in time.
I agree with you, Sonny. I enjoyed the promo segment as well. Was it as great as the first one? Nah, but it still was very impactful. It still was very personal. Like I said, these are your two of the top 5 guys in the company right now, especially as far as my skills go. Like Roman Reigns, his aura, his presence, like just little things that he does, like little hand motions in the ring, his facial expressions. He truly is the franchise of that company. Like,
yep.
When you have a guy that literally can just do the most minimal of things, and yet the crowd just reacts to him. That's all. That's true aura and presence. Like I stated.
Lights on and everything.
When he was telling Punk like the reason why they brought him back, like, we brought you back for these 30 and 40-year-old virgins in the crowd. And it's just the way that he said it, and the way that he said it was just so smooth to me. I'm just like damn, like he really is the top guy. Like I said, it was very impactful. I mean, obviously, Punk's closing line is the talk of social media about mentioning the Samoan family. Some people have alluded to. He mentioned a family member. Does that mean the final boss is pending The Rock? Gentleman right here, is he coming? Like, but it was a great segment. Yeah.
Man, please don't bring The Rock back.
I don't know.
I'm forgetting he's on the way, so
he'll be back and then disappear, and we'll never hear from him again.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know. Saudi Arabia is preparing a deal to pay this man to appear.
But yeah, I thought the segment was great. I thought the back and forth. It's just feeling feeding more fuel to the rivalry. I like how we're just kind of deep diving, Punk going into how like I'm in your head. He's like, you hate me. He's like, that's fine. You can feel however way you want, but you know what? I'm inside your head. I'm living rent free. He's like, now you got to worry about beating me. You think you're gonna retire me? He's like, you're not. He's like, you're just trying to look past me, and that's not what this is. So there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of great things they're building on from last week. Like Brian said, Reigns doesn't have to do a lot. He doesn't even have to say a lot. He just has to say, you know what? I don't like you. I'm going to take you out. And that's it. You can come out here and say all these things. It's not going to matter because I'm the number one guy. I don't even need to be here all the time, and I'm still the number one guy. So you can be here all the time, and that's fine. But I come back, and you already know what time it is. So it's like two different styles. It's like Reigns is just like you said, he's just like on the whole aura and just like I'm the greatest, and there's nothing you can do. Punk's like, I'm here kicking ass. What are you gonna do? So there's a lot going into it, and yeah, that line, yes, it was for shock value, but I'm not sure if it fit. Like it fit well in how he executed it, but I don't know. I think I was expecting a different type of jab. I don't know.
What happened is that, well, number one, all those Samoans are going to jump CM Punk at some point. They're going to attack him. Like you insulted
from all promotions across the country. You mean
you insulted this man's
You're gonna have
family.
Tamina come back. You're gonna have
Tamina's just going to hit him in the backstage. Like all those people, like Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, everyone, Nia Jax, everyone should have a problem with you now because you took it too far.
Everybody who's not Samoa Joe, pretty much.
Man, but yeah, it's just like he obviously was to put heat on the situation. Obviously, there's a lot of heat going into this match at WrestleMania, and I think that's what the selling point of it is. And I like the whole comparison, as what Lewis said, is that there's this guy that's been there every week, CM Punk, fighting to defend this championship, taking on all challengers, being the people's champ, the fighting champ, and then you got this Roman Reigns who essentially who is basically representing the company, right? In terms of looking at what the statuses of WWE is, right? Like Roman Reigns is like, yo, you were brought back just to be a sideshow. Like you weren't supposed to be this on the same level as me. You're not supposed to be champion. You're not supposed to be standing in front of me. Like we decided to bring you back, but it wasn't for this. Like this is not your place. So there's a very kind of when I look back, I think about Triple H and John Cena when Triple H was kind of like the rich guy in that whole program where like John Cena was the guy from the streets, kind of fighting his way up, always battling everybody. Kind of even similar to Booker T, Triple H, kind of in the same aura. Like you're not supposed to be here. You're not on the same level as me. Like you were in a different company. I love that aspect of Roman Reigns kind of being the asshole in the situation, but it's like he's kind of right in terms of saying like all these things like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. Like you were an outsider. Now you came back in. And CM Punk basically taking it up a notch, like, yo, like taking the insult of saying that he's going to retire him and stuff like that. Like CM Punk, what is one of the criticisms that everybody has been saying? Stay healthy, Phil. Don't get hurt. Please. He's up there in age. He looks gassed. If there's anybody that's going to put him out of capacity, he's going to be Roman Reigns. He's going to be the guy to try to do it. So to get that whole animosity and that heat behind it, I thought that was a great touch behind it. Talking about Roman Reigns' father, yeah, that's a little tough, but I'm pretty sure they gave each other the green light on that to basically take liberties in the ring and stuff like that and go that far, because I think this, from a heat standpoint, I can't think of a hotter WrestleMania match other than probably Reigns Cody at that point in time, or I can't think of anything right now. Like maybe Cody and Reigns was at that height and that peak of heat and story behind it. Like I really can't think of another matchup like this because like these two guys have so much history, so much hatred towards each other and stuff like that. And it's like, this is what's going to sell WrestleMania. Like I've already talked about it. Like I'm already ready for WrestleMania 42 off this program alone. That one promo that we got from a couple weeks ago, I was sold. But this is going to add to it WWE is obviously going to put together a tremendous promo package between using this. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Go ahead.
I said 15 months ago on Wrestling Spotlight with Gerald Bentley when I was just getting started as a podcast analyst that I thought we'd be in the CM Punk business as the year rolled on, because at the time CM Punk was out in Hollywood doing a movie, and Gerald Bentley asked me outright, my buddy on Wrestling Spotlight, what I thought about the future of CM Punk, and this was 15 months ago, y'all. And I said, well, they're not going to invest all this money in Punk for Punk to go out and make a movie and then keep him signed without doing something with him as the year goes on. I said, I think we're going to be in the CM Punk business within a year from now, and here we are. We're in the CM Punk business. So, like it or not, it's here. It's in front of us, and now we kind of got to deal with it and pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a good bit of business with these two guys. Like, Roman Reigns is going to sell at anything, and now you add CM Punk to that. It's definitely going to be a crazy matchup at WrestleMania 42. Still got 7 weeks, and Roman Reigns is supposed to be on Raw every week this month. So we'll see what happens going into this. It's going to keep building up. They're going to be, I'm pretty sure they're going to have sit-down interviews and stuff like that. So we'll get on to that. We'll see what happens with that. Yep. Let's keep moving on here to the opener of the match, opener of the Monday Night Raw. We had the Vision coming out. We had a Seth Rollins coming out. What did you guys make of this whole interaction between Jimmy Uso, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins getting the upper hand on the Vision, with Seth actually hitting kind of similar, I think, to the chair shot that he laid on the Shield.
Roman Reigns,
Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose all those years ago with the chair shot. What did you guys think about this whole segment with apparently the pairing of the Usos, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins?
For the love of God, I hope Braun Breaker is healthy for WrestleMania by that time. Like,
so you don't want a 6-man tag between the Vision and
that's what we all want.
It's just
for
that
nothing on the line, of course.
Without him and Bronson Reed, what really is this group? The group was built. The foundation of the group was built around those two guys, more specifically Braun Breaker. So I hope he's ready to go for WrestleMania, or else there really is no need to do that. There's really no need to have this story anymore, unless the plan is for Seth Rollins to face Brock Lesnar, which was what we don't want, because we done seen that shit years ago, and we don't. And like I said before, if Brock Lesnar's not facing Obafemi or Gunther, I don't give a fuck. It has to be one of those two guys for me to care if it's a Brock Lesnar match this year. But as far as the opening segment goes, I actually thought last week, I think it was on. Matter of fact, it was on SmackDown when you had the masked man appear and they unmasked him to see that it was Seth Rollins, a student. I thought that was their way of saying, okay, we're going to cut our losses. There's too many injuries. Seth Rollins, we didn't know Seth was going to be back at the Chamber. Like, that's it. That's enough of this storyline. Let's just rewrite and then come back to it when everybody's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still going on with it.
You got to finish the story, bro. You got to finish the story.
But by this point in time, once he was revealed, there really is no need for all these other random masked men to come out now and like surprise people. It's just he was revealed. That should be the end of it. Yeah.
Unless he's building a new group. Now, if he's building a new group, it makes sense.
Yes. If he's building a new group, but I would have thought that Austin Theory was going to factor into this a lot more, because remember, he was the first original masked man. Now, if everybody is still healthy, I think Austin Theory is supposed to be kind of the insider who's supposed to be trying to break up the Vision from the inside for Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Obviously, they can't do that because of all the injuries.
That's thrown that into this tournament.
Yeah, there's just I don't know.
The inside, yeah.
I guess we know what direction LA Knight's going in. Obviously, he's going to continue to go after the Vision, as he should. Yeah. But him and Seth potentially teaming up, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. But I think it's we're going to continue. Hopefully, we get Braun back at some point. And
please.
get something going, because
I hope he's ready.
I think everybody's confused, especially heading into WrestleMania 42. What's going to happen with Seth Rollins and LA Knight and the Vision and what's left of this Vision group? Like, I don't know. As I said, I think I said it before. I think I said it last week or a couple episodes ago. Just put Austin Theory and Logan Paul in the tag team division and let them win the tag titles. Like, just do that. Like,
Give them something, I guess, right?
I don't know if you're going to do. I don't know what. But then that's the problem.
That might be the direction. That might be the direction, though. I actually think that might be the direction. I mean, they definitely planted seeds with that on Monday Night Raw with the Jimmy Uso LA Knight interacting with the. So
but
that,
then
that might actually be the direction.
What do you do with LA Knight and Seth Rollins then? You're hoping Braun Breaker's back.
Mm-hmm. I said on Twitter that as of last week that I didn't think we had gotten to the bottom of our best man yet. And sure enough, out comes Seth Rollins. And I even said, I think it's going to be Seth Rollins. So, and there we were.
I don't know what they do with them. I think that's why they're kind of having all these guys fight each other right now. But we'll see what happens with the Vision. Let's keep moving on to Dragon Lee and Gunther having their matchup. A very impressive matchup between these two guys. What did you guys make of this matchup between the two of them?
I am so happy with this match. This was a great match, and I'm happy because of Dragon Lee. He was a guy that for a little bit for the last couple of months before he teamed up with AJ, he was lost in the shuffle, and he was a guy that a lot of, like we saw what he did in NXT, winning the North American title, and they christened him the future of Lucha Libre. So you looked at how impressive he was, and you just hoped that he was going to factor in the things moving forward. But then they signed Penta, then they signed Phoenix, and for a little while, Dragon Lee kind of got lost in the shuffle. And I feel like that match with Gunther kind of reintroduced everybody to him, that he can be a serious competitor. I love the Styles clash. No pun intended for AJ Styles between the both guys. Dragon Lee being the Lucha Libre. Gunther works very well with guys of that nature. Like, Gunther is such an all around performer. He can mix it up with bigger guys. Has a tremendous matchup with smaller guys. He's multi-dimensional. He can pretty much do everything. You saw obviously Dragon Lee, unfortunately, with the pulling off of the mask. I mean, some people look at the rules of Lucha Libre and saying that removing a mask, the disrespect that comes along with it. But at the same time, like I said off the air, I mean, if you go on WWE's YouTube channel, the highlights from this match are up there, and they still show his mask getting taken off. So you wonder if, because of Gunther being this career killer heel, if that was done by design to put more heat on him, because Gunther fucked him up.
Yeah.
Gunther put a beating on him. So I wonder if that was just done by design.
Yeah, I think it was definitely done by design. Especially, first of all, let me say this: kudos to Dragon Lee, because we have forgotten how great he was in terms of when he first came and how awesome he was putting on these awesome matches. And for a long time, he was lost in the shuffle. He was with the LWO, and now he was a tag team with AJ and stuff like that. And just they had him come out with the wings for those PLEs and stuff like that. And we were like, what is this? What are they doing to him? For him to actually have this match and showcase the fight and fighting from underneath against a guy like Gunther, that was awesome to see, because one, it showcased how great he is and what he can do. I hope this is not the last thing they do with him. And I hope they put him in the Intercontinental title picture if they can do that too. Whatever the case may be, whatever going on with that. But he earned a spot on TV, like doing something. Like, he should not be banished to the Shadow Realm with this. Like, this should be something built off of this for him, at least. As for the match, I love the match. Him and Gunther going at it again. As I said it off air, Gunther working with the little man can put on an awesome match with anybody. I remember Ilya Dragunov, Tyler Bate, all those Pete Dunne, all the guys in NXT UK. Awesome matches. This was just paying homage to those guys on Monday Night Raw. and for Dragon Lee to fight it from underneath and stuff like that, I thought was awesome. for Gunther to pull his mask off now, again, I've been saying, like, is he going to eventually take on Rey Mysterio, like, with this type of thing? Because now he's disrespecting Lucha Libre as a whole, right? Like, he's been going after Dragon Lee and stuff like that. It's like, is he going to take on Rey Mysterio at some point? And maybe that's what we lead to. But as for right now, I think him and Dragon Lee can definitely have a great matchup. I don't know if that's going to be his WrestleMania match. If it is, and we get something close to this, I hope it's not mask on the line. I hope it's not that, because I don't think they need to do anything like that. But Dragon Lee just fighting for his pride, I'm fine with that. I don't know if Gunther's going to take another loss at WrestleMania at this point in time, but I was just impressed by the matchup between these two, man. I really liked it. And to get that much time for Dragon Lee, I thought that was awesome. So definitely impressed by that matchup for sure.
Yeah, that match had a lot of great back and forth. And yeah, like, this definitely was a reintroduction of Dragon Lee and just like what he can do. I feel like for a while we just saw like a couple of just like his lucha moves, but now we actually saw like his reversal, his counters, his actual finisher. Which I feel like we haven't seen in forever, and it's just like, this guy can go. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that they got rid of those stupid mechanical wings because they were not needed and they're horrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after this match, I'm definitely more of a Dragon Lee fan. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I want to see him more. I want to see him going after titles, whether it's the US or IC, or even after the tag titles again. But like, they need to keep. If you really believe this guy is the next great luchador to like follow Rey, you gotta let him. You gotta let him go. Like, you gotta let him just go out there and have the best matches he can, and just keep pushing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, but I think Gunther's heel work has been fantastic here. Him pulling off the mask, obviously they planned that, especially with the towel and stuff like that. I didn't expect him to show his face. I know they tried to cover it up. Gunther was trying to cover up his face when he had him in the sleeper and stuff like that. But I hope they don't do this as they did to Rey Mysterio in WCW. I hope they don't go that angle and stuff like that with him losing his mask and stuff like that. But I thought it was a great match between those guys, and kudos to both those guys involved. I hope we get some more of this, and we'll see what happens with this one as well. Let's keep moving on to let's take a pit stop here with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Obviously, Rhea Ripley won the Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley came out with her promo, basically saying thank you to Io, and Io basically giving her blessings to go after the title and stuff like that. Showing a fire, like a difference with Rhea Ripley that we haven't seen in a very, very long time, directed at Jade Cargill. But there's been a lot of stuff outside the ring, especially on Twitter, with the back and forth between these two women, things getting heated. With Jade Cargill basically saying Rhea Ripley's kind of playing politics backstage, speaking to the creative backstage and stuff like that. And Rhea and a lot of women didn't take that too kindly. And Jade Cargill kind of going after everybody. What did you guys make of this whole confrontation between these two women?
All right, so there's been a lot of conflicting reports about this. I mean, one publication is saying that it was a work, another publication is saying that it's a shoot. Another publication is saying it started off as a work, then it turned into a shoot once Jade mentioned Rhea being a politician backstage. Regardless of whatever the situation is, I like this. I like this a lot because this match needed something, needed some semblance of a story. You already got the star power with both of them. Now they just needed some animosity, a story to add to it. Now, if it is revealed, probably gonna be on an episode of WWE Unreal in the future, where they talk about this feud. If it's revealed that Jade kind of went too far, I think this is one of those cases where going too far was actually a benefit, because like I said, this match, because like I said, these two women, their star power alone, it can carry the match, but to actually have like an actual story of animosity between them. Like I said on Wrestling Spotlight a couple of weeks ago, the best stories are the ones that blur the line between fiction and reality. It is very easy to believe that Rhea Ripley is a quote unquote politician. Mm-hmm. Like I said, 5 WrestleMania main events in her career. A lot of people are even lucky to get either 1 or 2. She's already gotten 5. She already has 5 of them now. So it's very easy to believe that. You talk about Jade Cargill. She's only had 1 title defense the entire time, and she's been champion. So now all that factors in. Like, so this match needed something like this. I'm glad that they took to Twitter. And if Jade went too far, this is one of those instances where I think going too far was the best case as far as this story goes. Mm-hmm. Just as long as they're in communication with one another, I'm pretty sure that Jade reached out to Rhea and pretty much said, "Oh, all I was trying to do was just work to build this up." As long as there's still mutual respect and communication between both parties, that's all that matters. So I'm glad that they went this far to kind of put some animosity on this match.
Yeah, all this stuff has definitely just fueled the fire. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I hope it's a work and that they're just like, let's see what we can do to get people to really invested in this. Mm-hmm. And I know obviously in this day and age, social media and the comments is always read one way, interpreted another way, so it's like there's always going to be that back and forth. Mm-hmm. But I thought, just because I saw other people say, they're like, is there some truth to what Jade said about Rhea? I mean, look at just that triple threat with her, Bianca, and Io. She didn't qualify, and then she just inserted herself into the match. So it's like, could that possibly be a thing? I don't know. I don't work at WWE. But it's just one of those elements that adds to the story and makes it just makes it more exciting. And like, okay, like you guys are bringing all these things up. Let's see what's actually going to happen. And I don't know. We hope that we don't get another Charlotte Tiffany situation, taking shots and then actually hitting each other in the ring. Because that's just not going to end up looking good for anyone. I do hope it just leads to more heated segments and more pushing, shoving, and just showing the aggression on both sides and like what all this is bringing out of both of them. So because it needs to elevate the match, it needs to elevate the feud, and just make it be like, oh, well, I can't wait to see this. But if we're not doing that, it's not going to matter. So.
Yeah, for sure. Thoughts on this, Sonny? The back and forth between Jade and Rhea?
A couple of things. One, I gave the thumbs down to the Dragon Lee versus the Ring General match because of the mask incident. The match itself, I thought, was very athletic between the two fellas, and I hope the rival can continue. Again, that this is at the end of Dragon Lee. Lee wearing the wings and whatnot out to the on the pay-per-views was just to build up his character and to animate his larger-than-life character that he portrays. I've enjoyed seeing the matches he's been in with AJ Styles over the past couple of months and seen him progress. Rhea, there is always a little politicking going on backstage, but if she has or if she hasn't, who cares? I don't have a preference in any of it as far as Jade talking smack about her or vice versa, her talking smack about Jade. That's the way some people choose to build it up to the main event fight that they have coming up. So I do agree with Brian, and I think on Unreal we're going to see in the coming months how this really went down versus what we're seeing right now between the two. But, I don't want the mystique to be taken out of wrestling completely. I like a little bit of an edge as to what's coming up in the fight. And I'd like for two people to go at it a little bit. But I do agree with Lewis that the Charlotte Flair and Stratton thing went too far. So I think you can go too far, but I don't think Rhea and Jade are there quite yet. Tiffany, Lewis, you may remember, actually got talked to for that and by saying that she took it too far on Raw or something a couple months back, and I thought that was real appropriate. I think the general managers should step in more than they do on unfair rulings and things like that to make it look more sportsmanlike than they do sometimes when they sweep things under the rug. again, is when it doesn't appeal to potential fans like my father, not putting him on a pedestal. But we want the older fans back, and that's what we're trying to do. And these rivals is bring back the fanfare that we once had, the 40-year-olds staying at home, Brian. But anyway, I got a buddy who's just started watching it after listening to my podcast again, and he says it's a little harder to follow than it was back in our day, mine and his day, as far as the storylines go. So I think the writers need to finer tune those storylines between people to make it look more athletic all the way down the line. So.
Yep. I think this is great for the matchup, right? Because it was just two powerhouses, and especially with Jade, who hasn't had very much title defenses, you need something else to add to it besides Rhea Ripley and Jade, right? Between these two, and them having an actual feud and dislike for each other, even if it's manufactured, that's what's going to sell tickets. That's what's going to get more people interacting. That's what's going to get people talking online. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a million stories about these tweets and stuff like that. You also have Chelsea Green, who's injured right now, as well as Piper Niven, getting involved in this feud online. So you're getting more women involved. I think where this is me just booking in my head, right? Like, I would love for everybody to start going after Jade Cargill, and then Bianca Belair joins her, and they both team up. And they both just start going after everybody. Like, you're not going to pick on her.
Oh.
Yeah, I know Bianca Belair, they don't want her to turn heel at all, but
She should.
I would love that. But as for this stuff building on social media, that's going to sell WrestleMania. Like, that's what's going to get more people intrigued into this match. Hopefully we get some good promos between these two women. I know basically this essentially means that Rhea Ripley right now is on SmackDown, so hopefully we get something this Friday between these two women. Picking up steam. We also had the Liv Morgan promo to Stephanie Vac here. I know, Brian, again, I'm just not sold on Liv Morgan until maybe I see it in the ring. Just not going to be sold.
But you have to say, compared to the previous segments in the last 2 weeks, that promo segment of her kind of, I'm not going to say it made up for it, but it probably was the best representation of her since she won the Royal Rumble. That's the best way I can describe it.
I'll say this. She didn't cry, so there's that. So that's an improvement. All right, let's keep moving on here to a new champion, a new Intercontinental champion, Penta, Sarah Mayordo, all of that. He is the new IC champion. A little bit over a year since he's been on the roster, a year and 2 months, I believe. And picking up the win over Dom Mysterio. Penta, I believe they said he's the second masked wrestler to win the IC title. And that was from Rey Mysterio. I think he's the firstborn wrestler from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. They said also to win the IC title. So definitely a major accomplishment for Penta in this one. What did you guys think about the matchup and Penta becoming the new IC title? IC champion.
I mean, can we just thank one person? Danhausen.
Well,
this was an A+ in my book, and because of that, Lewis, now it's an F. There we go. Thank you. I hope you're happy. I hope you're satisfied.
But you have to admit, when you think about it, if you look at the equation, that was the perfect utilization of Danhausen in that situation.
Yes.
To finally get Penta that moment that a lot of people have been waiting for since he signed with WWE. We talk about it. I think I mentioned it last week on WWE Unreal. I talked about the whole episode or segment that they did on Penta, and I talked about the in the writers' room, Paul Heyman talking about how significant Penta is since they signed him, and how they need to do something big with him. And now here we are now. I believe Penta is the maybe second or third male wrestler from AEW that's come in and won a championship on the main roster, I believe. I mean, I don't really count Cody and Punk because they were at WWE before, but from brand new from AEW, I think he might be the first one on the main roster that's won a title. It could have been other people, but I'm happy. I'm happy for him. To see
Yeah.
where he came from in AEW with that style to now adapting to what he is now. I'm so tremendously happy for Penta, because now that he's champion, whoever, I mean, this talent roster is so deep. You could just think of so many other things that they can do, so many feuds that they can put him into, so many guys he can mix it up with. First thing I thought off the top of my head for WrestleMania, if you're not gonna do like a multi-man match with him, have him go one-on-one with Javon Evans and just give them 15 minutes and just have them tear the roof off the place. To do that, Javon Evans versus Penta one-on-one for the title at WrestleMania. Just let them go for 15 minutes. Show Steeler. So I'm very happy for that Penta is the IC champion right now, because it's only gonna be so many positive moments and matches that we're gonna get from it.
Yeah, and he better not be left off the damn Mania card. Every title and mid-card title should be on the Mania card.
Look, Lewis, you know how I know he's gonna be on the card? Because I was in Vegas last year for WrestleMania. The Friday before the Friday of SmackDown, walking up the strip with my family, I must have seen like over 100 Penta masks. Like and out there, those fans they show up for him. So they're gonna remember.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do this. Then that long entrance ramp, that's a long ramp for WrestleMania. It's a long ramp for WrestleMania. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm happy for Penta. It's also crazy. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. He did one of the Celtic Warrior workouts, and he actually talked about how he has a torn bicep and he's never had it repaired. So I'm like, this man's just over here wrestling with a torn bicep.
How?
It's just exactly.
How the fuck?
The man is literally the definition of no fear. It sucks that he got here later on in his career, but it's also great that he's thriving and that the fans love him and that he gets a great reaction. And this is just a great moment for him. I mean, he called it when he first came in. He said, this is going to be the Penta era, and I'm going to show out, and that's what he's doing. And people have taken notice, and it's crazy to think that keeping him away from his brother was actually the smart move. I don't know if it's the best move for his brother, but
we just
not for his brother.
I think we expected this sooner. I think that's the thing. I think we expected him to win titles early on and then eventually get with his brother. Not have this whole delay for a year and then him finally get the title. You know what I mean? But it worked. We got here. Yeah. I will say this: they haven't diminished him. They haven't really misused him, even though I feel like they underutilized him. I don't think they misused him, if that makes sense. I think they always put him in a prominent role, having him have great matches and stuff like that. So for him to win this title, I think was awesome. What did you think about it, Sonny, about Penta winning that IC title?
Well, I'll shoot straight from the hip. I've followed Penta since he arrived, and it's real encouraging to see the change of people's attitudes toward Penta over the past year. I have hyped him up on X ever since he got to WWE, and up until this past week when he won the title, they had been some of the lowest views of any of my tweets. But and I declared that he was going to win the title that very night, and he did. What I saw in him was fire from the day he walked into the WWE. Whether you're Danhausen or Penta or the 1, 2, 3 kid from back in my day who I know personally and wrestled on the independents a lot, you don't make it to the big show, guys, without having proven yourself somewhere in this industry. Those guys have been marked and labeled before they ever come to the big show and the main roster, and they have proven themselves somewhere. In Penta's case, he's at 40 years old. He's still working hurt. I worked hurt. In our day, you worked hurt. I wrestled with 2 hernias and didn't know I had them. Would I have done that if I'd known I had them? No, I'd gone in and gotten them fixed up and then gone back.
Yeah.
You know, that's what that's what you do. And I think Penta's going to be the first Mexican World Heavyweight Champion in the WWE. And I think he's going to continue to go straight to the top. What they've been doing in my lenses are for the past year is putting them in all kinds of unique situations to see what they can do with them. I don't think it's been to take away from them. I think it's been trying to find their footing with them and how they can present them. But he's done so well wherever they've put him that they went on and made him champion. And sometimes it takes several months to figure out how they're going to use the guy in a new league. So that's not done unheard of. I'm real happy for him and real happy to see the change in the views on my tweets about him on X. But he's a great guy. And eventually, Brian, I think he'll get his bicep fixed when things work out. He can take the time off.
Hopefully.
It's probably a time off issue for him now.
I don't know. But happy for Penta. We finally have some dissension in the Judgment Day. This might be the nail that we finally needed in the coffin of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
With Finn stopping JD from grabbing the ring hammer and stopping him from helping Dom in that situation. And Dom basically saying, hey, he can do it himself. Let's let him do it by himself. And it's funny
because
because
you think of the curse put on him. I thought it was humorous.
I don't know. That was funny. I would say that. What the interaction with Danhausen with that was funny. I was fine with that. Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber, not so much. But in this role, doing that and showing his character with Adam Pearce backstage, I thought that was funny. I thought that was the right use of him in small doses like that. So I feel like that really helped. I thought it was funny. He said the paper was in the toilet. He picked it up out of the toilet, and he's like, "Why is this wet?" Yep. And, I thought it was good between those two. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Judgment Day because we finally have the break, right? And it's ironically, both these guys said they wanted to do it on their own. They didn't want any help, and they both lost. So definitely going to be interesting to see what they do there between those two guys heading to WrestleMania. Obviously, I think it's going to lead to a match. I don't know if it's going to be the Demon. I don't think it's going to be the Demon. I don't think it's needed for that. Unless they're going to do some type of Hell in a Cell again. But
no, please.
I think there should be a straight up match between those guys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because there's a lot of dissension going on. A lot of people picking their own ways. And for Finn to do that to him in that moment was very interesting. So we'll see what happens between those guys. Sonny, you said you wanted to talk about Javon Evans and Bronson Reed.
Yes,
I'll give you the floor for a moment.
Just a minute if I can.
Yep.
Javon Evans was told about a week ago by Randy Orton he needed to calm down during his matches some and not go as hard as he's been going. I wasn't a fan of that to be shown on the air like that. I thought it could have been done off camera if it was going to be done at all. I don't think Chiffon is trying to show off by out wrestling people who he's in the ring with. I think he's so new to the main roster at this point in time that he is merely trying to get his match design figured out, what his favorite moves are, what his favorite techniques are, those kinds of things. It takes a minute when you're there to do that because you're at a different level than you've been at. And I have followed Chiffon since NXT for over a year now, saying I thought he was going to be a superstar in the WWE. And Chiffon has been quoted as saying he wants to be the youngest ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he'll probably make that happen. So I say that's just back off on telling them to slow down and just constructively tell him how to put a match together better. That would have been the better approach to that, in my opinion. On Big Bronson Reed, I made a comment on X, and all my comments aren't bad, y'all, but I did mention that why were we in the Bronson Reed business at this point in time if all we were going to do was use him for one or two moves, guys? Anybody could do a splash off the top turnbuckle. It's been done before with Tasami. and a couple of the other guys who were 400 pounds or better. Earthquake comes to mind, who had the big splash finish. That's not wrestling. What I want to see out of Bronson Reed is what we saw when he got hurt. I want to see more wrestling matches with him to see what he can do. I don't think the division is dead. I think that they are regrouping, and I think they have been for sure hurt in real life doing their craft. But let's not make Big Bronson Reed just another 400-pounder guy and a muscle guy for the division. Let's showcase him when he comes back, and let's see what he can do on his own too. Logan Paul heading up division. I'm okay with that. Paul is currently proving himself still, even though he shouldn't have to at this point in time, in my opinion. And he's picking up the pace. Now, what I am interested in is where the third man fits into all this, who was unmasked. And is he a plant there by Seth Rollins to do more harm to the division? Mm-hmm. So I'd be checking out Austin Theory before I'd be complaining about the guys that we know about currently. But that's what I meant when I said on X anyway. That's what I was aiming toward when I said, why are we in the Big Bronson Reed business if we're not going to use him to his fullest potential?
I think with Bronson Reed, what I'll say about him is that before the division and stuff like that, they really did showcase him wrestling when he fought Gunther for the IC title, when he was going up against Braun Strowman and stuff like that. There was really a different style to him. I think with the injuries, that might have set him back a little bit, and maybe they're just kind of trying to keep him in that roles to keep him, prolong him so he doesn't get hurt. Unfortunately, he had the torn bicep a couple weeks there on Raw ago. Unfortunately, so hopefully we can get more out of Bronson Reed, because it's like he's so talented, and to have these stop and goes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to have all these stop and goes and like that just sucks, because it's like you see the talent, you know this guy's good. We seen what he did in NXT. You see him on the main roster. You see him put in these high profile situations with Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, et cetera, and you're just like, you just want to see him stay healthy and continue to do more and showcase his skill more, rather than just being another big guy that does splashes and slam people and stuff like that. So he's definitely more talented than that. But thanks for those words, Sonny, on Javon Evans and Bronson Reed. That will do it for us here. This was a long one. We covered the Elimination Chamber and Monday Night Raw. As WWE tells us, we're 7 weeks out for WrestleMania. So we're going to continue down this road to WrestleMania. There's no Saturday night's main event, I think, unless they showcase one late, but I don't think they should.
They better not.
They shouldn't do it for this one.
Just use the 7 weeks to get to WrestleMania, because you need all 7 weeks. You don't need any event in between. You need all 7 weeks to build up this show, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they need all 7 weeks to build WrestleMania, please. But thank you guys for joining us, as always. Sonny, as always. Sonny, the man Eagle Cain from Wrestling Spotlight. Thank you for joining us, as always. You can check him out there with Wrestling Spotlight with Gerald Bentley, as always. You can catch us at Ring Takes on X, on Instagram, at TikTok, making videos, promoting the show XYZ. And we'll see you guys in a couple next week as we're picking up the road to WrestleMania. 7 weeks out, so we're heading down this road. Until next time, remember, people, always kick out on two. Until next time.